My business partner got my wife pregnant and tried to steal my company. My own mother told me to stay silent. My name is Daniel. I'm 33, born and raised on the south side of Chicago, and I run a small logistics software company that mostly serves boring industries, warehouses, routing, inventory tracking. I used to love that it was boring. Boring meant stable. Stable meant safe. My business partner is a guy I met in college named Ethan. Same age as me. Sharp, confident, always talking like he's already 10 steps ahead. In the early days, that confidence saved us. Later, I realized it could also hide things. My wife, Sophia, is 31. We'd been married for 5 years. No big social media love story. Just a quiet, steady relationship at least. That's what I thought. And my mom, Marianne, is 59. She's the kind of mom who believes loyalty means silence. She grew up with the idea that family problems stay inside the family, even if the problem is someone inside the family hurting you. The week everything went wrong started with good news. We landed a contract that would double our revenue. I came home with a bottle of sparkling cider, nothing fancy, just something to mark the moment, and Sophia smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Mini cliffhanger. I didn't think something is wrong. I thought, she's tired. But tired doesn't usually look like guilt. I poured 2 glasses and said, "We did it." Sophia clinked her glass to mine. "Yeah, you did. Not we. Not even you both. Just you." I laughed it off, because that's what you do when life is moving fast, and you don't want to touch the one thread that might unravel everything. The next morning at the office, Ethan was already there, pacing with his phone. He looked up and smiled. "Big week, huh?" "Big week," I said. He nodded toward the conference room. "We should tighten up governance. Now that we're growing, investors like structure." That sentence should have sounded normal. Governance. Structure. Those are adult words. But his tone felt careful, like he was easing a door open quietly. Mini cliffhanger. When someone suddenly becomes obsessed with structure, check who benefits from the new rules. At lunch, my phone buzzed with a text from my mom. "Mom, call me when you can." I called her on my break. Her voice was overly cheerful. "Hi, sweetheart. How's work?" "Good," I said. "What's up?" A pause. Nothing. Just checking in. My mom doesn't just check in. She calls with a purpose, like she's delivering a package. I asked, "Are you okay?" She answered too fast. "I'm fine. Listen, don't stress Sophia out this week, okay? She needs calm." My stomach tightened. "Why?" "She just does," my mom said. "Promise me you'll be gentle." Mini cliffhanger. My mom was warning me about my own wife, like I was the last person allowed to know what was happening in my marriage. That night, Sophia sat at the kitchen table long after dinner, turning her phone face down whenever I walked into the room. I sat across from her. "Hey, are we okay?" She swallowed. "Yeah, because you don't seem okay." Her eyes flicked up, then away. "Work is just a lot." "Your work or my work?" I asked gently. Sophia pressed her lips together. "Daniel, please, not tonight." And I did what I've always done when I love someone. I backed off. Mini cliffhanger. Backing off can be kindness. It can also be permission, and I didn't know which one I was giving. 2 days later, Ethan sent me a calendar invite. Title: Board Alignment Meeting Mandatory. Time: Friday, 8 a.m. Attendees: me, Ethan, our CFO, and 2 minor investors who normally never cared about internal decisions. I stared at the invite. Mandatory was a weird word for a company where the board was basically just founders plus paperwork. I walked into Ethan's office. "What's this?" He leaned back in his chair. "Just making sure we're all aligned. It's standard as we scale." "Standard for what?" I asked. He smiled. "For leadership clarity." Mini cliffhanger. Leadership clarity is corporate code for someone is about to lose power. That night, Sophia came home early and asked me to sit down. Her hands were shaking. She kept rubbing her thumb over her ring like it was stuck. "Daniel," she said quietly, "I need to tell you something before you hear it from someone else." My throat went dry. "Okay." She took a breath. "I'm expecting a baby." For 1 second, my brain tried to celebrate, like it wanted to choose joy by force. Then reality caught up. We hadn't been trying. We'd been careful, and I travel for work sometimes for a week at a time. I said slowly, "When did you find out?" Sophia blinked fast. "A few days ago." "And How far along? She hesitated. Not far. Mini cliffhanger. When someone hesitates on a number, it's not the math they're struggling with. It's the truth. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I just said, okay. We'll go to a doctor. We'll confirm everything. We'll talk. Sophia nodded quickly, like she was relieved I didn't explode. But as she stood up, her phone lit up on the table with a notification. A message preview. From Ethan. It disappeared as she grabbed the phone, but I'd seen enough to know it wasn't a work topic. Sophia looked at me, eyes wide. It's about the contract. Ethan's just stressed. I nodded once, even though every cell in my body was screaming. Mini cliffhanger. In that moment, I had two paths: fight for answers, or stay calm and gather facts. I chose facts. The next morning, I called my mom. Mom, I said, did you know Sophia was expecting a baby? Silence. Then, Daniel. My stomach dropped. You knew. She whispered. Don't do this. Did you know Ethan was messaging her? I asked. My mom's voice got firmer. Your marriage is private, and your business is fragile right now. Don't confront anyone. You'll ruin everything. Ruin what? I asked. And she said the sentence I will never forget. Just let Ethan handle things. He's thinking long-term. Mini cliffhanger. My mom was choosing my business partner's long-term over my reality, and I hadn't even heard the worst part yet. Because when I got to the office, our CFO was waiting at my desk with a pale face. Daniel, she said quietly, Ethan asked me to prepare documents for Friday. What documents? I asked. She swallowed. An amendment. It changes voting control. I felt my ears ring. Changes it how? She slid a printed page toward me. It moved my controlling vote to Ethan. I didn't storm into Ethan's office. I didn't call Sophia and scream into the phone. I did something calmer. And honestly colder. I opened a folder on my laptop called Receipts. Then I created subfolders. Calendar invite. Emails and Slack messages. Financial access logs. Legal documents. Personal messages, screenshots. Mini cliffhanger. People can argue with your feelings all day. They struggle to argue with timestamps. I asked our CFO, Janine, to forward me everything she had, every draft Ethan requested, every email about governance, every note about leadership clarity. Janine hesitated. I don't want to be in the middle. I'm not asking you to pick sides, I said. I'm asking you to preserve company records. That phrasing mattered. It wasn't drama, it was compliance. Janine nodded once. Okay. Within 10 minutes, I had emails from Ethan telling her, we need this signed before the new contract closes. Urgent. Before the contract closes. So the plan was, lock me out, then close the deal, then tell everyone it's finalized. Mini cliffhanger. The speed wasn't confidence. It was urgency, like he feared daylight. I called my attorney friend, Luis, not for courtroom theatrics, just for advice. He listened quietly, then said, do not sign anything Friday, and don't tip him off that you're preparing. Also, check access, bank logins, payroll, admin permissions. So I did. Our company bank had 2 admins, me and Ethan. Or at least, it used to. When I logged in, my admin settings had been updated. I could view transactions, but I couldn't approve certain changes without secondary verification. Which I didn't have. Mini cliffhanger. That's when it hit me he wasn't just planning a vote. He was already reducing my control. I walked to Ethan's office. Door half open. He was on a call. I heard my own name. Ethan's voice. Daniel is emotional. He's great technically, but leadership is unstable lately. I stood there, silent, listening to my partner describe me like a liability. Then he said, yes, Marianne agrees. She thinks it's best. My mom. My heart didn't race. It sank. Heavy. Slow. Mini cliffhanger. It's one thing to lose a business partner. It's another thing to realize your mother is co-signing the story. That night, I asked Sophia to meet me at a cafe. Neutral place. Public. Calm. She arrived wearing a hoodie like armor. She sat down and wouldn't meet my eyes. I said, Sophia, I saw Ethan messaging you, and my mom is telling me to stay quiet. Sophia flinched. Your mom talked to you? So it's real, I said. She whispered, it's not what you think. That sentence is almost always exactly what you think. I kept my voice low. I'm not going to yell. I just need the truth. Is the baby possibly Ethan's? Sophia's eyes filled. She nodded once, barely. Mini cliffhanger. The betrayal wasn't a movie explosion. It was a small nod from someone I trusted with my whole life. I sat there, still. The cafe noise felt far away. I asked, "How long?" Sophia pressed her hands together. "It was a mistake. It happened when you were in Denver for that warehouse conference. I was overwhelmed. Ethan came over to go through the contract. We had wine. Stop," I said gently. "Keep it clean. I don't need details. I need choices." She looked at me, confused. "Choices?" "We're getting a paternity test when it's possible," I said calmly. "And until then, you're not discussing my business with him. At all." Sophia started crying. "Daniel, please. Ethan said if you find out, you'll destroy him." I stared. "He's worried about me destroying him." She whispered, "He said you'd ruin the company. He said your mom agrees that you're reactive." Mini cliffhanger. They were using my mother as credibility. Like my own family was a witness against me. I paid for our drinks and stood up. "I'm going home." Sophia reached for my sleeve. "Daniel." I stepped back. "I'm not leaving you homeless. But we're not sharing a bed tonight. And we are not pretending." At home, I slept on the couch and stared at the ceiling like it might explain how a person gets betrayed in two directions at once. Around 2 a.m., my phone buzzed. A text from my mom. "Mom, I know you're hurt, but be smart. Sign the amendment Friday, secure the contract, then deal with personal stuff later." I screenshot it. Then, I replied, "Why are you telling me to sign away control?" She didn't answer for 5 minutes. Then, "Because this isn't just about you anymore. There's a baby involved." Mini cliffhanger. That line told me everything. She wasn't protecting me. She was protecting the consequences. The next day at work, Ethan acted normal, even friendly. He brought coffee to my desk like a peace offering. "Big day tomorrow," he said. I nodded. "Yeah." He smiled. "We're about to level up. I'm proud of us." Us. That word felt like a theft. Mini cliffhanger. When someone says us while moving your chair out from under you, they're not celebrating partnership. They're claiming ownership. I asked casually, "Why are the investors joining the Friday meeting?" Ethan didn't blink. "It's better optics." "What's the vote?" I asked. "Just formalizing roles," he said. "It's paperwork." That night, Luis looked at the draft amendment and said, "He's trying to create a legal reality before you can react." "So what do?" I asked. Luis said, "You use the rules you already have. Check your operating agreement. Any buy-sell clauses? Any requirements for amendments? Any need for unanimous consent?" I pulled up our original documents. And there it was. Amendments required unanimous founder consent. Meaning Ethan couldn't do this without my signature. Unless he had a version of my signature already. My stomach turned. Mini cliffhanger. Suddenly the threat wasn't Friday's vote. The threat was whether he could fake Friday. I searched my email for scanned documents Ethan had access to. Then I remembered, when we opened the business bank account, we uploaded IDs and signed forms. Ethan had copies, so did Janine, so did our bookkeeper. And guess who used to help with bookkeeping when we were small? My mom. I sat in my car outside the office, staring at the download log like it was a crime scene. Account, Marianne E. File, Daniel, signature, Pong. Time, 11:40, 8 p.m. My mom had accessed my business records late at night, pulled my signature, and then told me to be smart. Mini cliffhanger. I wasn't dealing with one betrayer. I was dealing with a coordinated plan. I didn't call her. Not yet. Instead, I called Luis again. My mom downloaded my signature file. Luis went quiet. Then, "Okay. Then you don't confront. You preserve." He told me to do 3 things. Export the access logs. Remove any unnecessary shared drive permissions immediately. Communicate in writing with clear, neutral language. So I did. I locked our shared drive to founders only. I removed my mom's helper access. I tightened permissions for everyone who didn't need them. Then I emailed Ethan, copying Janine, very politely. "Hey Ethan, for compliance and security, I'm tightening document permissions. If you need any files for Friday, request them through Janine. No accusation, just policy." Mini cliffhanger. The best trap is one that looks like routine. Ethan replied within 3 minutes. "Why are you doing that right before the contract close?" There it was panic, disguised as concern. I wrote back, Standard security. See you Friday. That night, Sophia knocked softly on the bedroom door. Can we talk? She asked. I opened the door but didn't invite her in. Talk. Her eyes were swollen. Ethan says you're trying to ruin his life. I stared at her. Sophia, Ethan is trying to take my company. She shook her head like she couldn't hold both truths at once. He says he's trying to protect it, that you'll spiral. I kept my voice calm. Has he asked you for anything? Anything specific? Sophia hesitated. He asked me to persuade you to sign so the contract doesn't fall apart. Did he tell you what happens after I sign? I asked. Sophia whispered. He said you'd still have a role, just less pressure. Mini cliffhanger. Less pressure is what you call it when you're shrinking someone's life while smiling. I nodded slowly. Okay, here's what's going to happen. You're going to stop relaying messages. You're going to send me, right now, a screenshot of every conversation you've had with Ethan about the company. Sophia looked shocked. Daniel, I'm not punishing you, I said. I'm protecting the company from misinformation. If you want to repair anything with me, we start with truth. She swallowed and pulled out her phone. She scrolled with shaky fingers. Then she handed it to me. And there it was. Weeks of messages. Ethan telling her he was worried about me. Ethan saying my mom agreed I wasn't stable. Ethan saying he'd make sure the baby is taken care of. One message made my blood run cold. Ethan, if Daniel refuses to sign, Marianne can help. She knows where the old docs are. Mini cliffhanger. He said it casually like my mother was part of his toolkit. I screenshot everything, sent it to myself, and saved it into receipts. Then I handed Sophia her phone back. You should stay with your sister for a few days, I said quietly. Sophia started crying again. Are you leaving me? I'm giving both of us space, I said, and I'm giving the baby a calm environment, regardless of what happens. That was true. I meant it. Mini cliffhanger. Being calm doesn't mean you're okay. It means you're choosing not to burn down your future while you bleed. Friday morning came fast. 8 a.m. Board alignment meeting. I walked into the conference room with my laptop, a printed copy of the operating agreement, and a calmness I didn't feel. Ethan smiled as if nothing had happened. Daniel, glad you're here. Janine looked nervous. The investors looked curious. Ethan opened with a polished speech about growth, streamlined leadership, and risk management. Then he slid the amendment across the table toward me with a pen. Just sign and we're aligned, he said friendly. Mini cliffhanger. He wanted me to sign in front of witnesses so he could later say I did it willingly. I didn't touch the pen. I said calmly, before I sign anything, I need to confirm something for the record. Our operating agreement requires unanimous founder consent for amendments, correct? Ethan's smile tightened. Yes, but... I continued. And any change to voting control is material, correct? One investor shifted in his seat. Yes, he said slowly. Ethan jumped in. This is just formalizing what we already do day to day. I nodded. Then it should be easy to wait until our council reviews it. Ethan's eyes flashed. There's no time. The contract closes Monday. I looked at Janine. Janine, can you confirm whether my banking admin privileges were restricted this week? Janine swallowed. Daniel, that change request came from Ethan. Ethan's head snapped toward her. Janine. I raised a hand. Calm. No. Let her answer. Janine nodded once. Yes. Your access was limited. Mini cliffhanger. Ethan's plan was cracking because he couldn't control what other adults said out loud. One investor cleared his throat. Ethan, why would you limit the other founders' access right before closing? Ethan smiled again, forced. Security. Daniel's been distracted lately. There it was again. Distracted. Unstable. The narrative. I said, I agree security matters. That's why I also reviewed our document access logs. Ethan's eyes narrowed. What are you implying? I turned my laptop toward the table and showed a simple chart, no emotion, just data. 2 weeks ago, I said, an account downloaded my signature file at 11:48 p.m. That account was not mine. It was not Ethan's. It was a third party with outdated access. Ethan went still. An investor asked, whose account? I paused because saying it felt like swallowing glass. My mother's, I said. Mini cliffhanger. Watching Ethan's face change when I said my mother told me I'd hit the center of the plan. Ethan leaned forward, voice sharp. This is inappropriate. Personal drama doesn't belong here. I nodded. Agreed. which is why I won't discuss personal matters. I'll discuss governance. Specifically, no one is signing an amendment today. Ethan's voice rose. Daniel, you're sabotaging the company. I stayed calm. No, I'm preventing fraud. The room went silent. Janine looked like she might faint. One investor said carefully, Ethan, do you have an explanation for the signature download? Ethan stood up. This meeting is over. I stood too. No, this meeting is documented, and any attempt to remove me without proper consent will be contested. Ethan's jaw clenched. You're making a mistake. I looked him in the eye. You already did. I answered my mom's call in the parking lot because I didn't trust myself to be nice indoors. Daniel, she said, voice trembling with performance. What are you doing? I kept my voice low. Why did you download my signature file? Silence. Then, I was trying to help. Help who? I asked. She exhaled. Help the family. No, I said gently. Help who? My mom's voice sharpened. Ethan is trying to keep the company afloat. You're being stubborn. I'm being careful, I replied. Why are you on his side? Then she said it, like it was obvious. Because there's going to be a baby, Daniel. I swallowed. So you knew. She didn't deny it. She just said, your wife made a mistake. Ethan made a mistake. But the baby deserves stability, and the company is stability. Mini cliffhanger. My mom was talking about my life like it was a resource to redistribute, like my pain was a budget line. I asked, did you know he was planning to take voting control? She hesitated. He said you'd still have a role. A role, I repeated quietly. Like an employee. My mom snapped. A good role. A less stressful one. You always get overwhelmed. There it was. The family script. When Daniel is hurt, it's not because someone hurt him. It's because Daniel is too sensitive. I said, calm and clear, Mom, you do not have access to my business systems anymore. Do not contact my investors. Do not contact Janine. Do not contact Sophia about the company. My mom's voice rose. So you're cutting me out now? I'm separating family from operations, I said. That's normal. Mini cliffhanger. The moment you say normal to someone who thrives on chaos, they act like you committed a crime. She whispered, furious. You're going to regret this. I ended the call. Then I did the thing I should have done years earlier. I treated this like an actual takeover attempt. Luis introduced me to a corporate attorney, Miss Kim, who specialized in small business disputes. Miss Kim reviewed our operating agreement and said, you have leverage. Also, you need to secure assets today, not tomorrow. So we did. We moved critical accounts to require dual approval. We changed admin permissions across platforms. We notified the bank in writing that no changes to ownership or signatories could occur without both founders present. We created a formal board record. No amendment approved. Mini cliffhanger. Protection is boring. It's checklists and emails. And it's exactly why it works. Ethan reacted fast. That evening, he emailed our investors. Due to personal instability, Daniel is stepping back. I will lead operations temporarily. He attached a PDF with my signature. My stomach flipped. But Miss Kim didn't panic. She just said, good. He played his card. I stared. Good? She nodded. Because now we have a clear act to challenge. We request the original file metadata. We compare timestamps. And we ask one question. Where did he get your signature? Mini cliffhanger. The more aggressively someone lies in writing, the easier it becomes to corner them with reality. We responded to the investors within an hour with a calm statement. Daniel has not stepped back. No governance change has been approved. A disputed document is circulating. Legal counsel is reviewing. Company operations continue. No insults. No drama. Just steady. One investor replied privately, thank you, keep us posted. This felt off. That message was oxygen. Meanwhile, Sophia texted me from her sister's house. Sophia, Ethan says your mom is furious. He says you'll ruin the baby's future. I replied, the baby's future is not secured by stealing my company. Then I asked, did Ethan ever admit anything in writing about the signature? Sophia hesitated, then sent a screenshot. Ethan, if Daniel won't sign, we'll use what we have. Your mother-in-law understands. Use what we have. My hands went cold. Mini cliffhanger. That screenshot was the first time I had direct evidence of intent, not just suspicion. Miss Kim prepared a formal notice, cease and desist, dispute of document authenticity, and a warning of litigation if Ethan continued to misrepresent company governance. She also recommended something that felt both dramatic and necessary. Daniel, you may need to suspend Ethan's access to company systems pending investigation. I stared at her. He's a founder. She nodded. And founders can still commit wrongdoing. So we held an emergency meeting with the investors, same ones from Friday, plus Janine. We presented. Access logs showing my mom's late-night download. Bank admin changes initiated by Ethan. The email Ethan sent with the forged signature. Sophia's screenshots indicating coordination. The operating agreement requiring unanimous consent. Ethan joined the call smiling, like he thought he could talk his way out. He started, "I'm trying to protect the company from Daniel's emotional decisions." Miss Kim cut in, calm. "Ethan, you circulated a document stating Daniel stepped back. Provide the original signed document and explain the signature source." Ethan laughed once. "This is ridiculous." Miss Kim continued, "Answer the question." Ethan's voice sharpened. "I don't have to answer to you." One investor said, "Actually, you do. We have fiduciary concerns." Ethan went quiet. Mini cliffhanger. Silence is loud when you're asked for proof and you don't have it. The investors voted to restrict Ethan's access pending investigation allowed under a temporary protective clause in our agreement. Ethan exploded into accusations. "You're all being manipulated." But his anger didn't convince anyone. After the call, Janine looked at me and said softly, "I'm sorry. I thought he was just ambitious. I didn't think he'd go this far." I nodded. Neither did I. That night, I received one final message from my mom. "Mom, you're choosing a company over your own family. Do you want to die alone?" I stared at it. Then I saved it. And for the first time, I didn't feel guilt. I felt clarity. When Sophia called, I didn't rush over like a hero in a movie. I asked one question first. "Are you safe right now?" She sniffed. "Yes, my sister is here, but Ethan showed up and won't leave." I said, "Call the local non-emergency line. Have your sister with you. Don't engage." Then I texted Sophia in writing, "Do not meet him alone. Keep everything documented." Mini cliffhanger. The hardest part of being calm is resisting the urge to turn chaos into a personal mission. Sophia's sister later sent me a screenshot of the incident report number. Not dramatic, not violent, just a formal record that Ethan had been told to leave. And that mattered because patterns matter. Meanwhile, Miss Kim prepared the legal filing to formally dispute the forged document and to protect the company from misrepresentation. Ethan's attorney responded quickly, offering a settlement. Ethan would step away in exchange for a payout. He wanted a large number, plus a confidentiality clause. Miss Kim asked me, "What do you want most? Control? Revenge? Closure?" I answered honestly, "I want my company safe, and I want him away from my life." So we negotiated like adults. We leveraged the receipts, the access logs, the investor vote, the metadata, the screenshots, the bank changes, the company policy violations. Within 2 weeks, Ethan signed an exit agreement. He sold back his shares at a valuation lower than he demanded. He agreed to no contact with company staff. He agreed to stop misrepresenting governance. Everything stayed professional and clean. There was no cinematic courtroom moment, just paperwork. Mini cliffhanger. Real consequences often look like signatures, not shouting. Now, the personal side. Sophia and I met with a counselor, and then, separately, with attorneys to understand our options. I'll keep this part simple and respectful. We did confirm paternity when it became medically appropriate. And yes, the baby was Ethan's. I sat in my car afterward for a long time, hands on the wheel, not crying, not moving, just processing the finality. Sophia didn't beg. She didn't blame. She just said quietly, "I'm sorry." I nodded. "I believe you are. But I can't live in a marriage where my reality was managed by other people." We separated. We handled it with as much calm and privacy as possible. No social media posts, no public humiliation, no dragging names through the mud. Mini cliffhanger. Healing isn't always loud. Sometimes it's choosing not to become the worst version of yourself. My mom tried to get involved immediately. She called me, crying this time real tears, or at least better acted ones. "Daniel," she said, "you can still make this right. The baby needs a father figure. You can be the bigger person." I answered calmly, "Mom, the baby has a father, Ethan." She gasped like I'd said something cruel. Then I said the boundary that finally changed everything. "You don't get to rewrite betrayal into responsibility." Silence. She whispered, "So you're cutting me off." I corrected her. "I'm putting distance between me and anyone who thinks lying is love." Mini cliffhanger. Some people only call it family when you're willing to be the one who absorbs the damage. Over the next month, my mom tried 3 more times. She emailed me Bible quotes about forgiveness. She sent me a long message about what people will think. She asked me to meet Ethan for the baby. I didn't respond emotionally. I replied once, in writing, and then stopped. "Do not contact me about Ethan. Do not contact me about Sophia. If you want a relationship with me, it will be based on honesty and respect." And because she couldn't control that environment, she stepped back. Not because she became wise, because boundaries removed her leverage. On the business side, the contract closed. Our team kept working. Janine stayed, investors stayed. And something surprising happened in the months after. I became a better CEO. Not because I got tougher, because I got clearer. Clear policies, clear access controls, clear documentation culture, clear separation of family and business. Mini cliffhanger. The lesson wasn't trust nobody. The lesson was trust, but structure. A final update, because people always ask, did Ethan face consequences beyond losing the company? In our case, the consequence was the exit agreement plus legal warnings. We didn't chase drama. We chased safety. Did Sophia and I reconcile? No. We separated respectfully and moved forward. And my mom? We talk occasionally now, but it's different. It's surface level. Because trust isn't restored by time alone. It's restored by behavior. And she never truly apologized for choosing a story over her son. So I stopped waiting for her to become the mother I needed. I became the man I needed. The kind who doesn't sign away his life to keep other people comfortable. Final payoff delivers the title. My business partner betrayed my marriage, tried to take my company, and used my mother as cover. I didn't explode, I documented. He didn't get my company. And my mom didn't get to control the outcome with guilt. All they got was distance, paperwork, and the reality they couldn't edit. And that's the part people don't tell you. Betrayal doesn't always end with a dramatic scene. Sometimes it ends with paperwork and distance. He didn't get my company, and nobody got to rewrite my reality anymore. If you want more receipts-based, documentary-style stories like this, subscribe. And check the next video on screen, because it's another case where the nice choice almost cost someone everything.